What is the Velvia module and how do you use it? We're going to cover that in today's tutorial. Velvia was originally a type of camera film produced by Fujifilm. It was known for its color saturation, contrast, and sharpness. The Velvia tool in Darktable helps achieve that classic Velvia look by adding saturation only to pixels with low saturation. As you can see in our image, we have a nice macro shot of a bee on a flower. I haven't made any special modifications to this image. Instead, I'm just going to use the Velvia module to bring extra saturation to the blurred out background and a slight amount of saturation to the already saturated parts of the image, like the green leaves and blue flowers. You can see that increasing Velvia to 100 adds saturation to the whole image, but really brings out the yellows and the blues in the background. It's also important to note the amount of noise that is brought into the image as well. I wouldn't recommend increasing Velvia to 100. Something less, like 50 to 60, would probably be a better value to use. The midtones bias is really a type of skin tone protection. The higher the value, the more Darktable will try to protect skin tones from being oversaturated and blown out. Turning this to 0 means that there is no protection. So for an image like this without skin tones, I would probably use a lower value in order to increase saturation in the midtones. You can see when I turn this all the way off, the midtone green values become incredibly saturated. And when the midtone bias is turned to 100, there's less saturation in the midtone green values. It's always important to note that you can really see what's going on by looking at the histogram. If I turn the strength down to 0, you see that my RGB values and my luminance value are almost on top of each other. Then, with the strength turned to 100, the color values have been spread out, increasing the saturation. Then you can see the midtone bias at 0 versus the midtone bias at 1, how when the midtone bias is at 0, those saturation values are even more spread out throughout the histogram. The Velvia module is a great finishing tool in Darktable. The best way to use it is to edit your image, add all the vibrance, saturation, contrast, and other effects that you want, and then at the end, use this module sparingly to add a small boost to your image to bring it over the top. It can add that extra punch of color that really pushes your image over the edge. Thank you so much for watching. If this tutorial has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.